Welcome everyone back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Hunter x Hunter episode 61. Getting started in Greed Island. Let's check it out. Let's go. Check out Patreon right now to get at least a week ahead. Uncut reactions, etc., etc. Let's go.
I'd be so annoyed having to actually walk everywhere in this game, not being able to fast travel.
Fast travel's for idiots. You miss so many small details. Unless you're playing Genshin, in which case there's nothing to be found in the whole map. Invitation, X, and X friend.
So wait for killua now. Or they're too good and they have no fear of anyone noticing them. None. Test it out on like a rock.
You read it out.
Reveal all free slots of one target.
Say the name and then
Steal. Reveal all free slots of one target player. Can only be used on a player who's been encountered within the game. I mean, there's nothing. Is he not even gonna use it? He's just checking their names. I miss what that card can do. It's really fast. Oh my god. Getting like back when he killed that guy and it's like warp to the city of oh, they do have fast travel. This guy just comes out of nowhere, attacks them.
Yeah. Hang on, let's review the cards. Return. Warp to a city of your choice. Must be a city you have visited. So yeah, basically fast travel, but it requires like a consumable card.
Yeah. I assume this is probably what most people use their free slots for, these spell cards that are not a specific item. Current location of one target player will be trace. Current location of one target player will be available at all times. Great.
Effect lasts until player leaves the game.
Incredible. That sucks. And then he can just follow them and steal whatever they acquire while they're still too weak.
I don't know if he'll be too keen to do that after seeing how dangerous this key was.
What do you want to take out of it?
Troupe business.
キルはねえトレースオンとか言ってたの念の一種かな。いや多分ゲームの中で使える魔法だよ。魔法どんなさあな。まそのうちわかるだろう。うん
Sure.
City of prizes.
俺のことか。うわこれ全部検証みてえだな。あキルはあれあん時は月例大会行事表、今月だってさ
Rock, paper,
優勝
scissors.
商品は真実の
Sort of truth.
重要なアイテムなのかな。
Sounds like it.
あっち見てみ。参加してみる。当然。じゃあせっかくだからいろんな検証に挑戦しようよ。情報収集もしなきゃいけないしな。
Hungry.
いらっしゃい。30分以内に完食すればオラに商品のガルガイダーをプレゼント。
Whoa.
それでは
Well, what happens if they don't finish it? They don't have any money. Guess they're not thinking that far. How about more eating, less talking?
一番の物知りって誰？
物知りなん
あの人。面白いね。やっぱり単なるゲームキャラなんだよ。
あいややだね。はい商品のガルガイダーね。
217 F185。これ何のことだろう。
初めてなのか。
Yes, you can tell us that.
Galgaida.
One of the island's 3 greatest delicacies, delicious despite its appearance. The roe is said to extend your life, good boiled or grilled. That's cool. So I guess you can carry food around with you as well.
Tier list.
F は下から3番目ね。記号の横の数字はアイテムのカードか限度枚数のことね。
つまりこのアイテムカードは
Is worthless.
クズアイテムかな。
Hey, you know, you have all free slots.
Something's happening.
初めて見る顔だ。
Did you just die?
ゲームに参加したよ。
I mean, he looks
Already?
kind of dead to me.
何があったの？
突然体が爆発したんだ。内側からドーンとよ。
ゲームに参加してまだ数時間。もう犠牲者が死体の存在感。とてもゲームとは思えない。実際に命の危険を伴うゲーム。消えた。現実世界に戻ったんだろう、ノーバさん。ねえ、キル。
Damn. I like that smoke, how it inverts the colors.
わからない。
安心しな、このゲームにそんなスペルは存在しない。
スペル？
君が言う魔法のようなものだ。
Then, what was
あい
that?
つが死んだのは他のプレイヤーによる念のせいだ。
念？それってプレイヤー同士で殺し合いをしてるってこと？一体なんで？
プレイヤー狩りさ。
プレイヤー狩り？
俺たちと組まないか。確実にゲームをクリアできる方法がある。興味があるならついてきてくれ。この先に俺の仲間もい
I
る。
mean,
どうする？
I don't really trust him.
サンクス。スタート直後にもう嫌な目に遭ってるし。
ここに来る途中、他のプレイヤーにスペルの攻撃を受けてたね。
もしかしてずっと見てたの？俺たちのこと？
じゃない。さまざまな連中があのスタート地点を見張っている。その枠も来れば教えてやるよ。君を攻撃したスペルについてもね。
ね。何か裏があるとしか思えないぜ。
やむを得ないのさ。このゲームの難しさ、いやらしさ、恐ろしさ。俺たちの誘いに耳を貸すようになるからな。とにかく初めて来たばかりの君たちにとって情報を聞くだけでも思うがね。
なんで初めてだって思うの？途中でゲームから抜けてまた戻って。
Seems unlikely.
ブック。これが君たちが初心者の慣れたものなら相手がバインダーを出したらすぐ自分もバインダーを出す。スペルカードでしょ。
ってことはキルアがかけられたスペルもカードでしか防げない。
たとえカードをバインダーを出す。はったりは大事だ。ブック。
ねえ、スペルのカードはどうやって手に入れるの？
最も簡単なのは魔法都市マサドラへ行くことだ。
City of
マ
Magic.
サドラ？
That's where that guy worked.
Oh.
キルア行ってみようよ。キルアにかけられたスペルも気になるしね。
一人プレイヤーがやられた。君たちと時を同じくしてきた人物だ。腹が吹っ飛んでたよ。ボーマーの仕業だ。
彼の死はスペルによるものではない。このゲームのスペルの中には人を
That's cool.
殺傷する類のものは一つもない。一言で言うと、そのスペルをかけられたプレイヤーの情報が全て敵に筒抜けになる。
そうか。それであの時。
それらのスペルを新参プレイヤーにかけるため、スタート地点で見張ってる連中がいる。そして貴重なカードを手に入れたら
They just go over and grab it, yeah.
最悪の場合は命を落とすこともある。
さっきのやつみたいにか。俺はそう簡単に。
彼をやったのはまた別。プレイヤー狩りを目的とした最も過激。その中の一人、ボマーと呼ばれるやつの仕業だ。
ボマー。
このゲームでアイテムカードをゲットする3つ。それがわかるか？
自分で探す。
他のプレイヤーと交換。
プレイヤーから奪う。
大きく分ければその3つだ。しかし最近他のプレイヤーから強引に奪うものが、原因はカードの入手難度とカード化限度枚数のシステムだ。
Lots of exposition in this arc.
Yeah.
Front loading the shit out of us.
殺せば指輪は消滅し、カードデータも消えるが、その分カード化できるアイテムが
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It comes back
相
into
手
the
を
game.
殺してしまったら、当初このルールはプレイヤー同士の殺し合い防止が目的だったはず。
しかし今は
Yeah, maybe whoever made this game should have thought of that and maybe decreased the transform limit, but made it so that like I guess I don't know how you can do it. Just make them harder to get.
But then the
it
game
would
becomes
still
harder to
happen.
complete, and it would still happen because
Yeah.
it's easier to get them out in the wild, or how we're doing whatever quest or whatever is
Or
required.
I guess like making it so that you can't steal. You know, could have been the only real way to avoid it.
But then the game could never be completed because some people would hoard like one of the more rare cards,
I
and
guess
then
so.
nobody could beat the game because there's only a certain amount of them
Yeah,
in
but
the game.
still, no one's been able to beat the game, right?
Yeah, it's a really difficult game. That doesn't mean, but it would have been impossible if like somebody could just hold a card and then live in the game, and you know, killing them, the card just disappears or you can't get it at all.
カードを得る方法は1、自力探索、2、トレード、3、ダッシュ。どれになるんだ？
なんだ。厳密に言えば3つとも全部使うが、特に3が重要ってことだろ。
なんだよ、じゃあ結局力ずくで奪うのか？
違う。少なくとも俺たちは暴力を使わない。
スペルで奪う。だろ。
正解だ。スペルの中のカードを奪うスペル。それを防御するスペルがあるんだ。俺たちが独占する。プレイヤーを悩ませ続けたカード化限度枚数。それを逆手に取る。クリアする方法はない。
過去いろいろなプレイヤーにあったが、結論は同じ。を求めても結局奪われてしまう。
それはこのゲームの前提を奪い合いだからだ。奪われるリスクを限りなくゼロにし、確実にカードを奪う。
Gon looks a little bit angry at this conversation.
ゲームはどう分けるんだ？君たち、バッテラ氏の依頼で化したんだろう？
承知の上での勧誘か。
あ、俺たちもバッテラ氏。
Who else is coming into this game on a regular basis?
報酬は500億。仲間全員で山分けする。
現在仲間は53名。
It's like a billion each, about?
2回に出て1ヶ月。3ヶ月でクリアだ。
もちろん仲間に入って君たちに今かかっているスペルを解除する。
What do you think?
500億を山分けってのは3ヶ月でクリアっていう期限付きが気に。
Yeah, it might take you years otherwise.
一つ聞くが、例えば俺が入手難度 SS のカードを単独でゲットする。報酬は
If I do all the
もち
legwork.
ろんそのランクなら5億で取引している。
OK。入ろう。
君たちはどうする？
キルは ごめん。
No, doesn't want to do it.
俺はいい。
He wants to play the game. His dad told him to enjoy the game.
リーダーがそう言うんだね。俺も勝つ。おい、ゴン、待てってば。
君はどうする？
では
もしフリーポケットにカードがあれば今のうちに渡してもらう。
Oh, the free ones disappear when you
ゲ
leave.
ームの外に出たら
大丈夫、仲間が迎えに来た。
Just an airplane.
誰に見られているかわからない。早速始めよう。使うのはリーブのカードだ。
A leave card.
Send one player off the island?
どういうことだか説明しろよ。ごめんね、キルは。どうしても我慢できなくなっちゃって。いや、だから、ごめんの意味わかんねえって。だって、これでキルアのかかりっぱなしになっちゃったし。なんだ、そんなことか。別に問題ねえよ。でも、探しのために、キルアにもゲームに参加してもらってるのに。違うよ。俺がゲームに参加してるのは。それよかさっき、なんで怒ってたんだよ。だって、あいつらジンを作ったの。殺戮だ。奪い合いだ。悪い子にバカなんだ。ジンの言う通り、このゲームを楽しもうと思って。
You're literally gone, I swear.
一筋縄ではいかないと思って。それは
You understand him on a deep, deep level.
真剣にゲームやと思
I
って。
thought all the players enjoyed the game. They enjoy dying.
怖いのゲームじゃなくて、プレイヤーの考え方だよ。
Oh, that scares him. It's
Yeah.
I thought he was like, but it's the player mentality, not the game. That's not the game. Isn't why they died. They killed themselves.
The game is so pure. It doesn't matter if there's loopholes that lead to killing and stealing. The game.
This game. I'll talk about it after. I'll talk about it
プ
after.
レイヤーの考え方だよ。他の人を傷つけてまでカードを取ろうとするなんて。俺はありだと思うぜ。キルは本気で言ってんの。だからこそのあんたは専用ゲームだろ。殺しはなしさ。俺だってそこは賛成だよ。でも例えばルールを戦闘で勝った方が相手のカードをもらえるってのはどうだ？ありだ。な？俺にスペルをかけたやつだ。連中の作戦だって。ゲームとしてまっとうなやり方だと思うぜ。
They're not using outside forces within this game.
Exactly.
ハメみたいでかっこ悪いけどな。ま、とにかくあんな奴らをほっといて。俺たちはゲームを楽しむ。
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Nothing with the game itself is inherently wrong.
It's human nature.
Other than the fact that that Nen and outside forces are able to interfere with the game. If there was a cap on it in the game and you could only use what was like the magic system within the game in which there was no killing spells or harming spells, then it would just be a game. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I mean, this. I was gonna say this till after, but since you paused again and brought all this
Sorry.
complex morality up, yeah, the game it's much like DayZ, which is a game I used to play, or Rust, which maybe more people have played recently. If you go back to my other channel that's on the channel, BOLDcaster is my old channel. I used to make gaming videos back in the day, and I was really, really into DayZ. I have like 800 plus hours on it. And it's a similar thing where like in the game there are guns and there are like zombies that kill you and stuff like that, but the point of there's no like stated objective in the game, and that's the thing with a lot of these like open world survival games, like kind of this is based on. In this well, not based on, but like similar kind of vibe. In this it's different because there's a main objective. To clear the game you need to get all these cards, and something like DayZ, it's kind of like there are ways in the game to kill people, but what really kills people isn't the guns and isn't this, well, the zombies is different. What kills people isn't the weapons in the game, it's the people and human nature that's like acting itself out. A lot of people also choose to like share food and water and, you know, healing items and stuff like that, and like lead people, like you know, tour people around and like help new players and stuff like that. Well, whereas other people go to the starting point on the coast and just start gunning down new people. It's the problem isn't the game necessarily, even more in this case. It's people's mentality, and but the problem is if you remove the ability for people to kill or the outside forces like their Nen or whatever, then what's the point of the game? Like, it's not fun if there's no risk to it. If you're at this high of a level where you need to be this powerful of a hunter to go in, to have Nen and all this stuff, to just remove any kind of choice other than move forward in a straight line to the end, then why even make it a multiplayer game if there's no interaction or interplay between people or no competition. What's the point? So it's basically the game is a stage for all this. I was gonna save that till afterwards, but you paused it again.
Sorry.
俺たちはゲームを楽しもうぜ。キルア、ありがとう。キルアと一緒にここに来られて、キルアと会えて、俺本当に良かったよ。やめろよバカ。まずいだろ。なんで？俺本当にそう思ってるんだよ。逆だよ。ゴン、俺なんだ。俺の方こそお前に会えて本当に良かった。
なるほど、そういうわけ。それにしてもいいわね。若い男の子の無垢な友情。なんかむちゃくちゃにしてやりたい気分。
互いの気持ちを深め合うゴンとキルア、そんな二人を見つめるこの少女。
But who is the girl watching them? Itay.
I really like this ending for this part.
Yeah, right?
リターンをミトさんとこ。ゲームエリア。
The thing is, I always skipped these two for some reason.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe the version I was watching didn't have them, but I don't think that's true. I think I was just so hooked on the show by this point that I was just going past.
Oh.
And, you know what? I never watched the Hunter P.O.s the first time because they start after the Hunter exam arc.
So
right?
you're just not used to
So, like, I watched the end initially, but, like, I don't think that they weren't in the start of the anime. So, like, I would watch to the end and then it would just go to the preview for the next time. So I would get used to just, like, skipping to the next thing. Yeah, anyway. So like eventually it just got to the point where I had been skipping and then maybe I like realized, oh, there's something at the end, but then I was already skipping. So then I just got used to it and was like, fuck it. But I think the Greed Island tutorials are like pretty goddamn important to be watching this part of the end. It's a different card every episode.
I really like that it does this because like for the characters and stuff, it was okay. But it like I feel like this is more relevant when you have all these different cards that you're trying to keep track of. Even if you remember what they are or whatever, I feel like learning like an action or an ability is more interesting as this little bonus thing rather than just like, oh, this is this character. They do this after we've already seen them for like 20 episodes.
It's more just like a little fan service the other way. And maybe there's like a lot of times in those things, it's like, oh, we saw the character before, but like there were a couple times and many times where they would be explaining like the basic shit of the character, but then Gon would do his funny thing, or they would do like a funny thing that would reveal something that wasn't explained in the show as a little teaser. And it doesn't make sense unless you know later on when like something about them is revealed, and then you go back. Like I had noticed like, oh, they they revealed about Bonelanov, however you say that guy's name, the mummy dude with the box, the spinning, So that's a good example of that. So it's kind of useful, but more just fun. In this, it's like necessary. And like I was saying last time, it's like the game is very complicated. There's like there's a different card. Every card does something different, and there's more than 1,000 cards. We saw, and that's a cool bit of writing right there too.
To see the fish that's like
that's 12, 18 or something like that. So there's more than 1,200 cards at least, and that's an F. So like if card number 1 is like is an SS most powerful, or I don't know how it's numbered, but you know, it's like there's more cards than Pokemon. So
yeah, I also like Gon and Killua don't know how to, you know, leave the game and what, like, your free slots get lost, so you should give them to someone else. Like, say,
there's a lot of, like exploits.
If Killua is going to leave to get rid of, the, like, card that was used on him, then he's gonna have to
give Gon his cards.
Give Gon his
so
cards. They have
disappear.
to like swap out, and it also has to be someone that you really trust. Because if you're just like, hey, random person,
hold my $1 million of real life money card, or like this super crazy double S class card that nobody has found.
And you
before.
have to go back in within 10 days. It's very, very strict. This game.
Yeah. It makes it makes
it's
it so that
serious players only.
Exactly. There's a very high skill ceiling for this game, and a very high barrier to entry for new players. Like absurdly high. You need to be like ready to be a competitive fucking esports player. It's like if you wanted to play Call of Duty, but you had to have like 1,000 hours in every previous Call of Duty, and have played at multiple tournaments and won top prize. And everybody is at that level in this, and they're prepared to lose the ability to play anything, any video game ever again, or die if they lose.
I don't know, when she's making that face, she really looks like Shalnark to me.
A lot of characters look like Shalnark.
Yeah, it's true.
Like kurapika and her. She looks like someone else from like a different show, especially when she does like her little like at the end, like randomly.
I mean, her design is what's her face from ReZero, like the exact same. What's her name? Beatrice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kashida. What was the thing from her in the English dub that we still always say to this day?
Well, we don't say it anymore, obviously.
We say it.
We
say it still, but I suppose.
I suppose.
Yeah. Kashida. What do you think of the killua moment at the end? That was so cute. There was a lot of that this episode of like, oh, you're playing this to help me find my dad, and then he's like, you're wrong, Goem. That's not why I'm playing this. I'm playing this to hang out with you.
Yeah, because that's his whole thing. He just wants to hang out. They just want to hang out and have a good time.
Like we were talking about last arc with at the start of last arc where they were clearly saying like, oh, what's his name? His older brother, the fat brother, Miluki. Miluki is like, oh, I'll kill 10 people if you give me this many billion Jenny. And then his dad's like, sure, done, easy. I'll give you more. Ask for more. I'll give you more. Kill 11 and I'll give you double. Like, it doesn't matter. And then Killua is like, rather than going and doing that, he's like, I want to spend time with Gon. Because Gon doesn't want him to kill because he doesn't want him to be an assassin. He wants him to be like a normal kid, or to actually have a normal life and friends and stuff like that, and being an assassin pulls that away. But it's also like Killua doesn't even consider doing that, and maybe he does, but he doesn't really consider actually going and do that. He could easily call his dad up and be like, hey, can I have this much money? It would really make our lives easier if we could just have 60 bill to throw down.
He could have taken a bunch of money when he left. If he wanted to.
I don't think that's how that works, no. I don't think they'd be cool with you just freely, because they're like, especially think of how Zeno operates of like 1 kill per day. We only kill for money. Like we take our jobs very seriously. If you aren't willing to work, you probably aren't willing to eat. I think is the way that their family works.
But I mean, I guess Killua had been working, like I guess maybe he could have spent all of his money that he ever earned in his life.
Do you remember how much money he spent from when he was in Heaven's Arena when he was 6 years old?
That's true.
He spent hundreds of millions.
That's true.
I think it was like 80 million on candy. Like, he's insane. But I just love that at the end. That's like a huge moment for the whole series of that moment of, I just want to rewatch
it's really
it.
Nice.
Basically what he's saying there as well is like, if you agree to fight with another person and whoever wins gets this thing, and that's okay, that's basically what we're agreeing to when we go into the game. So we're all agreeing by entering the game, these are the rules. It's like an implicit rule in the game.
Well, he's also saying that like, cause Gon was getting mad at the other guys for basically just
playing a metagame.
But playing within the rules of the game, not going outside of it and actually killing people to steal their cards. They're doing it the way that the game is meant to be played, and the way that is like built into the thing with the steals and this and that. And they are like planning it out and like, oh yeah, if we get all of these cards, then they won't be able to use them against us. But because
they're metagaming basically.
Yeah.
Like we'll all group up and form this coalition to do this rather than like play what's. Sorry, I cut you off. Sorry.
But I think what he's trying to tell Gon is like, it's the same thing as if you just, because Gon would think that like, oh, challenging someone to a duel is a fair way to get a card, and Killua's like, well, that's that's also a fair way to get a card.
Yeah, I love that so much. I like to imagine that like, whenever somebody said his name throughout his whole life, I don't imagine anyone ever followed it up with thank you.
Yeah.
Like knowing his family and everything. They have like a compassion to them and like a, we're on the same team, but it's also very cold. Obviously, he's been tortured and abused his entire life. It's really weird and absurd circumstances, but it's still like,
and yeah,
I think that's why it really struck him, because I don't think anyone has ever been like, hey, Killua, thank you. I'm glad to have known you. I'm really glad that we're hanging out, man. I just wanted you to know that. I don't think anyone has ever in his life said anything like that before.
Yeah.
So that's just a huge moment.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And yeah, the group of people, there's like factions forming, and there's a bomber, there's like a serial killer. out there killing people, which destroys their cards. Right?
Yeah. Just so that the cards they will be able to maybe find that item and turn it into a card. And I suppose you could even like find the item and
turn it into
store
a card.
It somewhere. Yeah. Even if you can't turn it into a card yet, find someone, use the card things to be able to tell who has what card or whatever, kill them, and then try to turn it into an item. Like, go back to where you've stored it or whatever, or have other people guarding it.
You mean turn it back into a card?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Then try to turn the item into a card.
Yeah, but I imagine for like the really bad, like the crazy big ones that you really want and are hard to find, probably have a transformation limit of like 1. Of like, you can do this one time, so then you couldn't transform it back into a card. Like you could make it from a card. When you obtain something, it becomes a card. And then if you can use it 3 times, then you can change it into an item 3 times. And then it goes back into a card.
No, you can only ever do it once. You have to find a new one of that same item in order to turn it into a card.
There are some with a transformation limit where you can like turn it back and forth.
The transformation limit is within the entire game, and you have to like put that card back into the game. So say there's like...
I understand. I think I know what you mean. There's like only, if it's a transformation limit of 50, then there's 50 of those items at one time. And if you transform yours, and then it disappears...
There can be more than 50. There could be like, say there's like 1,000 rocks in the game, but there's a transformation limit of 2 for some reason. If I transform my rock into a card, someone else does it, then no one else can do it regardless of how many other things are in the game. But if you
understand it way better than me, then.
I'm pretty sure, but then if one person then transformed it back into a rock, then that rock could not be transformed back into a card. Even if there was available spots, you'd have to find a different rock and transform it into a card.
I'll trust you. I just want to rewatch because I just want to make sure that since we have the luxury of reacting to this, and since I've seen it before and you're viewing it from the first time, we're in a very unique circumstance. We have the ability to go back and view these things multiple times. And unfortunately, since we're not reacting to this in line with YouTube, like, you know,
no one can help
You can't correct us before we get too far. So we're going to rewatch a little bit of this while he's doing the whole explanation. There are 40 spells. So this is the class, this is the transformation limit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So there only can be 90, and there can only be 50 adhesions at one time. Complete data of one target player's restricted slots will be available at all times.
So that you would use that on all of their slots, and then you could kill them if they had something that you wanted, and then it would come back available.
Wait, explain that to me one more time. What?
Like, you could either go and steal their card that you knew was there, you could make them give it to you, or if it was an item that you knew was at its transformation limit, once you killed that person, you would be able to transform it because there would be a freed up transformation available.
If you found the item elsewhere.
Yeah, like, because their cards get destroyed, but it frees up the ability for that object to be made into a card again.
Complete data of one target's restricted slots will be available at all times. This just means you can see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can tell when someone gets the one that you're looking for.
Okay. Interesting stuff. Anything else you want to add before we go on?
I'm good.
Leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.